Have you ever had that gut feeling telling you that something just doesn't add up? That little voice in your head whispering, something is off here. It's that uneasy sensation you get when your partner says something that just doesn't sit right. And let's be honest, we've all been there at some point. But how do you really know if what your partner is telling you is genuine, or if there's more to the story than what they're letting on? Today, we're going to dive into the subtle signs, those little clues that could be exposing whether your partner is telling the truth or hiding something from you. So, if you've ever found yourself second-guessing their words, if you felt confused and unsure about whether to believe them, this video is for you. Stay with me until the end, because I'm going to reveal how to spot the phrases and behaviors that could indicate they're lying, and more importantly, how to handle these situations with confidence and clarity. You'll learn to navigate through this with your head held high, without losing your cool. Section 1. Inconsistencies in the story. One of the biggest indicators that someone might be lying is when their story has inconsistencies. Imagine this: they tell you a story about what they did last night, but then, when the topic comes up again a day later, some details don't match up. Maybe it's something small, like the time they got home or who they were with. These subtle changes can be red flags. Let's say they mentioned being out with friends at a restaurant, but the next time they say they were home watching a movie. That's a pretty big discrepancy. The trick here is to ask simple, non-threatening questions and just observe how they respond. It's not about grilling them with an interrogation, but more about paying attention to how the details change. Section 2. Over-explaining. Another common phrase is, "Why don't you believe me? I'm telling you the truth." When someone insists too much on justifying their innocence more than necessary, it could be a sign they're trying to cover something up. Think about it. When you have nothing to hide, you don't feel the need to explain yourself excessively. If you notice that your partner starts giving long, drawn-out explanations or becomes defensive too quickly, it's time to take a step back and observe. It's important to stay calm and not get drawn into an emotional argument. Section 3. Body language. Your partner's body language can sometimes say more than their words. Pay attention to how they act when they're talking to you. Do they avoid eye contact? Do they cross their arms? Does their voice suddenly change? These are all signs that might indicate something isn't quite right. And it's not just about what they say, but how they say it. A sudden change in tone, long pauses before responding, or even a nervous laugh can signal that the story they're telling isn't entirely true. Section 4. Evasive answers. When you ask a direct question, and instead of a clear answer, you get a long-winded explanation or a question back at you, that could be a sign of evasion. For example, if you ask, "Who were you with yesterday?" and they respond with, "Why are you asking me that? You know I was at work." Instead of giving a straightforward answer, it might mean they're trying to dodge the question. This is when you need to be more alert. Section 5. Suddenly changing the topic. Another thing to watch out for is when they suddenly change the topic when you're talking about something specific. Maybe you ask about a particular event and all of a sudden they start talking about plans for the weekend or something unrelated. This abrupt change of subject is a defense mechanism to avoid the real issue. Section 6. Too much detail. When a story has too many unnecessary details, it could be because they're trying to fill in the gaps of a lie. Imagine they're telling you about a trip to the grocery store, but instead of just saying they bought some groceries, they give you a full list of every item and every person they saw. This overload of information can be a way to distract you from what's really going on. Section 7. Defensive behavior. Have you ever noticed how some people get defensive even when you're not accusing them of anything? They might say something like, "I can't believe you're accusing me," when all you did was ask a simple question. This overreaction could be a sign that they're feeling guilty about something. It's important not to escalate the situation here, but rather to stay calm and observe. Section 8. Minimizing the issue. Sometimes they might try to minimize the situation by saying things like, "It's not a big deal," or "You're overreacting." This could be an attempt to downplay something they don't want you to look into. If they're quick to brush things off or make you feel like you're the one being unreasonable, it could be a tactic to avoid further questioning. Section 9. Using vague language. When someone is hiding something, they often use vague language to avoid specifics. Instead of saying exactly where they were or who they were with, they might say something like, "I was out with some people," or "I had to take care of some stuff." This lack of detail is usually to avoid getting caught in a lie. Don't be afraid to ask for clarification if you notice this happening. Section 10. Turning the tables. Another tactic is turning the tables on you. If they start saying things like, "Why are you always suspicious?" or "You're the one who never tells me anything," they're trying to shift the focus from themselves to you. This tactic, known as gaslighting, is meant to make you doubt yourself and question your own actions instead of theirs. At the end of the day, trust your instincts. If something feels off, if there are things that don't add up, don't ignore those signs. But remember, it's not about becoming paranoid or jumping to conclusions. It's about being aware, observant, and approaching the situation with a calm and clear mind. I sincerely hope that this message has been useful to you. I want to congratulate you greatly for having come this far and for having finished the video. That means that you want to improve as a person. If you liked the video, leave your comment. You don't know what to comment? Comment, "I dare," so I know you made it to the end. If you are not yet subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? Subscribe now and join us. Thank you for your attention. Until next time, warrior.